Welcome to Behind the Business. I am with my good friend Jonah, who is a magic business coach. And today we're just going to riff on a whole bunch of things around mindset and what supported us to scale both of our businesses.
First, I have to stop and just say that I know that when you say magic business coach, it's a crazy thing and no one knows what that means. So I just want to unpack for everybody. I coach magicians on how to grow the business.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think that I coach magically. I'm not into that woo-woo stuff.
Business coach for magicians.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so the whole topic is mindset, and I wanted to just I wrote a couple of ideas down that I intentionally did not brief you on because I thought it would be more fun to talk about. So I think when we met, which was
when was that?
A year and a half ago.
It was 2024.
And it was midway through the year.
Yep.
So when we met, we were at similar stages in business, and I think you 2.5x and I have 2 point something x. So we've
had some pretty big growth.
But I remember when we were there. Do you talk openly about my numbers or not?
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I remember when we were there, it was around the 20 to 30K a month mark.
Yep.
Both of us were in that
roughly,
range,
yeah,
right?
30, 40, something
and
like that.
We were just talking about the plateau. And I think it's funny that there are these sort of invisible plateaus that we notice in the space. I think the 10-ish K a month is a plateau, and then I think there's another one around 30 is another one, and then for me, I've been kind of stuck where I am right now a little bit. So with respect to mindset, how did you work through that 20 to 30K a month plateau, wherever it was exactly? How did you work through that?
Well, I found it really interesting when we met, actually hearing over and over again from all of the people we met at that mastermind that was actually a legit thing where a lot of people got stuck at that stage. And I found that so fascinating. I was like, oh, it's not just a me thing. So normalizing it was one thing. And then I got curious about okay, so how did all of those people get out of that plateau? And I think one of the things I remember learning there was you can't outgrow your current identity. You've got to expand your identity to expand your financial results. So I really started to unpack what mindset, what thoughts was actually keeping me there. And I realized that I had a really strong thought or belief that to make double what I was making or anything more than that would be exhausting, hard, I would burn out, scary. I was telling myself those things very subconsciously.
Right.
And I was so comfortable. 30K a month is a good place to be.
It's insane numbers. It's crazy.
It's above average money. I had a very spacious calendar. I'm what more could you want? But I did want more, but I care about freedom so much, and I must have had a belief that I would lose freedom if I was to double the business.
So I have questions about that. So first is were you right or wrong? Now that you're way higher than that, was that belief crazy of you, or were you did you totally understand, but it's just you've grown to be able to manage that capacity?
I think I was wrong, and there are moments any stage of business that are hard and whatever, but I am way happier now than I was at 30K a month.
You were?
Yeah. I'm way happier now. Yeah.
It's interesting. I think what happens is if you grow correctly is that you get busier, and then a la Dan Martell, you clear your calendar by hiring someone or automating or systematizing, and then it's clear again. And then it gives you the bandwidth to actually work more. So I think in the micro, you do actually have to work a little extra to hit the next benchmark, and then you hand that job off to someone, or you automate
it's just different. It's different problems, but I remember my thoughts being oh, I'd have double the amount of payment failures, double the amount of client problems.
But that's true.
Yeah, but not really.
How could you not have double the payment failures?
I just don't have. It's not. Well, maybe there is. Yeah, sure, a little bit more, but it's I thought of it in this painful way, I wouldn't be able to handle that. But when I realized, oh, it doesn't have to be true that I'm going to double the pain, double the work.
Right.
I didn't double the amount of work or double all of that shit.
Yeah.
And I think just realizing, I'm not going to lose all my freedom as a result. Sure, different problems have presented itself and different things, but I've expanded my capacity to hold that. I'm in a busy season right now, but I'm not in this insufferable amount of pain.
So my other question was do you think that it was mindset that did it? Or do you think you tactically actually went after a specific strategy, outcome, doubled the ad spend or hired a person or whatever, or something like that, that got you out of the plateau?
For me, it was definitely the mindset piece first. And then naturally, like when you upgrade your mindset, you think of different ideas because you're no longer like blocking yourself from growing, you know? So there was definitely strategy components. Like, yeah, we did increase the ad spend. I was willing to take more risks, and I did think of new ideas. We made little tweaks, but I wouldn't say I like completely, you know, burned everything to the ground and had a completely different approach. Like, no, I just amplified what I was doing.
There wasn't a big, like, you can't say like the difference between 30 and, you know, 100 or whatever is I spend 3 times on ads, or like is the difference between 30 and 100 like I raised my price, or like is there anything like that you can point to?
We definitely spend more money on ads. Like, there's just no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't have done that with the mindset at 30K a month until I broke through that belief of like,
why do you think, like, you know, we're talking about mindset, like, and by the way, I've had these similar things around ads as well, where you're like, oh, I spend X amount a month on ads, and then someone's like, why aren't you spending double? And you're kind of like, oh, that's too much money to spend out. And I remember I was chatting with Noah Kagan, who I know very well, and he was like, it's just a number on the bank statement. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter. But like, you do put a lot of this stuff behind you. Like, I spend 5K a month on ads, and you're like, can you spend 20? And you're like, oh, $20,000 a month. It's like so scary. It's like so weird. And then it's like, it is just a number on the bank statement. Like, you know, who cares? So I think, yeah, there is a funny belief thing around ads, but like for you, like if you could clearly see that doubling your ad spend will double your results, like, is it a mindset thing? Like, why didn't you do it? Like, why would you be afraid to do it? And like, hopefully people resonate with this, that their limiting belief is just someone going, hey, you should just spend twice as much. Like, if you have a machine, you put $1 in and get $4 out, you should give it all your money.
I think you have to understand those numbers to do that for a start. Like, you think about new coaches investing in a coach. They look at it as like spending thousands of dollars in a coach, or like not even a coach, you know,
anything,
even your potential clients investing in you. It's like, wow, that's so much money. They look at the cost of it instead of the ROI on the other side. And so it's a mindset to look at the return on investment of something. Like you know, your mindset in earlier stages is, what is this going to cost me, instead of like, what am I going to get out of this? So for example, you just flew business class, right? It's like, some people would be like, why would you do that? You could like pay a quarter of the amount on the same plane and get there just as fast. But you're not looking at it like that. You were looking at, look how productive I'm going to be, look how much I'm going to get done, or quality of sleep, which is going to make me better for my clients, and all of these things. You look at it differently, and you've got to unlock that and see the value of time and energy and all of those things. Like, did I value my time when I first started my business? No, I didn't. Do I value every hour, Monday to Friday now? Yeah, I say no to things now. And I remember I used to listen to podcasts of people saying they say no to stuff, but I never understood it.
Right, you're like, opportunities, like, why would you say no? Like, it's coming your way.
Yeah,
like,
but it's like, it's a different stage, it's a different mindset. So you just like, as you expand your capacity to hold more, you operate differently naturally, which is why I totally agree with what we learned, you know, when we met up in Fiji that time around, you know, someone saying that you can't outgrow your current identity. So if you want to get to that next level, you have to think and feel and operate from that place.
The phrasing around the same thing that I heard then that resonated a lot with me was that, like, it's not about raising your maximum, it's about raising your minimum. So like, if you're doing like 30K months and you like want to do 60, you're not like, oh, like 60, like that'd be so dope. You just have to like not be okay with it being, with the bank statement, with the Stripe account saying 30. You have to be like, that's 10 below it should be. Like, it's what it is. And then every time you're like, oh my gosh, that's 10 below it should be. And it's like, it's so funny how many times in business you're like, oh my gosh, this is the most I could do. Like, even when you told me, like, when you did your first 100K month, like, it was down to the wire, and you were like offering crazy things with like 6 hours left to go, which is like crazy. And obviously I don't think we should always stretch ourselves like that, but I also think that sometimes it's so fun. First of all, I think it's so much fun. By the way, I have an idea for something I want to tell you about that's like related to that, but I think it's nice to realize sometimes that like we can just summon some dollar. Like, I'm like, if I say, hey, you have a week to make 50K, like,
we'd
you'd
totally
fucking
do it.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Like not that, like, you'd figure it out. And yes, if I told you you have a week to make $1 million, you'd be like, impossible, bro. But like, 20K, you could do it.
I also
like,
I
50K, you
gave
could do
my
it.
clients this example the other day on a call. I was like, if I told you guys all right now that if you make $10,000 in the next 72 hours, I will give you
$1 million.
I'll give you $10,000.
Yeah.
Like, would you find a way to do it? And they were all like, yes, absolutely. And it's like interesting when there's an incentive, like, you'll go for it. So imagine if your drive was just like that.
I had a coach,
you know?
and I started working with him. It was like 10-week program or something. And like first week, he's like, hey, we're gonna start in a week. You all need to make $2,000 before we start. It's a week, $2,000. He's like, I'm around. Ask me any questions about what you need, any ideas, problem solve, whatever you want. But like, you all need to make $2,000 so we can officially start in 1 week. And like 80% of us hit it.
Interesting.
And it was like such a fun little project for him to be like, hey, welcome. Like, we have so much good content for you. I just want to show you how much of this is like mentality and whatever. Like, using all what you have, your list, your this, your whatever. We got to make $2,000. I'm around to like answer questions over DMs about how to do it. I'll tell you this offer, not that offer. I'll help, but like, that's how to start. And like, you just do it. So like, I think we have these like interesting like mindset. Like, we have these like things innate in us to like be able to do it. And that's why when I'm stagnant, I'm often just like, I often point to being like, yeah, I don't think I'm wanting it bad enough right now.
Yeah,
and
your
I try
why
to
is
like,
everything.
Yeah, I try to like map out, like, I'm like, okay, like, what happens if I stay here, XYZ? Like, what happens if I hit the next benchmark, like XYZ? And I do the whole like selfish, selfless, which is like, okay, selfishly, why do I want to add another 10K a month? You're like, fucking stick it to that guy who fucking stole my IP, and fuck that guy. And, you know, also because I can invest in a video person and fucking look dope online or whatever. And then you're like selflessly, and you're like, yeah, I want to take my parents on a vacation, or like, hey, like, I want
help your
my
clients.
partner, my clients, like whatever, you know, all these selfless, and you just like map out like all the reasons selfishly and selflessly, and it just helps you kind of frame that. Like, I do that often when I'm stuck. Any other plateau-y things you want to chat about?
No, I think a lot of that is mindset, and then that leads you to making different decisions strategically. Just like you just said with that coach that told you to do that. It's like, you know, you all of a sudden expanded of like, okay, what can I do right now to make that happen?
Yeah.
You know, you just think differently.
I have one more like topic around mindset, and then if you have any questions for me, I want to talk about the word hard, because I think that, and I don't mean this to hurt anybody, but none of what we do is hard. It is not hard.
No.
There is challenges. There is stuff that requires time. You can do stuff and it doesn't work, and that is emotionally taxing. But like, I don't know. None of it's hard. I had a physics teacher in high school, and he had like a degree in like quantum physics or some nonsense. And one of the kids in school asked him, he was just like chatting openly, and they were like, is quantum physics hard? And he said, everything's hard until you do it. And I was like, whoa, like, I love
So
that. Like,
true.
it's so cool, where you're
Like,
like,
think about 30K a month used to be so hard for us. Like,
impossible.
So
Impossible.
hard.
And now I'm like,
And that, like, it would never go under that.
that's
no
what
way.
I'm saying. Like, it's crazy, right? So like, what do you think around, and I'm sure like your clients and even you and your peers have used the language of like hard. Like,
course.
shooting content is hard. Like, we were just like jamming about how much of a bitch it was to set up the
all this-
lights and the mic,
But
and
then
the
it's like,
this and
was
whatever.
it
And, like,
really hard?
was it hard?
It was really not
It was
hard.
just like
Took 20 minutes.
time, like nothing, like, you know. So what do you think, like, a mindset around like hard? I know you studied like NLP. Like, what do you think of when you personally, or when a client, says something is hard? Like, what do you think? What do you feel like?
I completely agree with what you just said around it's
this is
not
hard,
hard.
like,
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I've definitely used the language like, this is hard. Like, of course, I would have said it several times this week, you know. But then when you take a step back, I'm like, there are much more difficult things. Like, we're not doing physical labor. Imagine being in 40-degree heat, laying brick after brick, building a house, or like carrying
hard,
your
bro.
water from several kilometers to your home, or not having running power, or
Even just like a marathon.
Literally.
Like just a marathon.
I've
Never
done
mind
that.
work. I know, but it was hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, there's like moments in the marathon where you're like, can my body manage this? Which I have never thought on a sales call.
Yeah.
Like, I've never thought running an ad. I've never been like, I'm pushing myself to the limit. Like,
I'm pressing all these
right.
buttons so
You're
hard.
like, oh God, enter. Like, oh fuck. Like, you know, I've never thought that. So,
Yeah. Something on a mindset piece. So when I was actually training for my marathon, someone said to me, your body won't go where your mind doesn't push you. And I guess that's the same thing of like, you can't outgrow your identity. It's the same thing worded differently. But that got me through my marathon. Like anytime it was hard or felt hard, I was like, my body won't keep going if my mind, you know, doesn't allow for it. So your mindset and that positivity is what gets you going. So I made sure to actually make my marathon fun. I would call people. I would like, you know, I don't know, like just dance around. Like I would just try and have fun with it because I knew if I can enjoy this, that's what's actually going to get me through versus if I'm like, oh my God, 42 kilometers to go, 41 kilometers to go, 40 kilometers to go. Like that's not going to be very helpful.
Yeah, I'll just share one tool around this that I've used with clients that, and like partners, you know, like to just be able to play this game around mindset, which is, I just like fight for the positive version. So I'll tell you a client story and then I'll relate it to the business class thing and then I'll like tell you about it with partners. So I have a client who, again, I coach magicians. So like he made like 25K a year as a magician and then we worked together for like a year and he made like 70K. And there's a guy in the program who lives in New York City and he had a bunch of big opportunities, be on like major television shows, and he made like 350K. And this guy was like, I feel so small, and not only do I feel small, but I also feel like I will never have, like those TV opportunities will not come for me, which is true. Like those era of that show is gone. He's like, so those this other magician was on Ellen, right? So he's like, that era will be gone. There's no way that I will catch up to him. And if I do catch up to him, he will be at a whole other, like, we're just in different like universes and like totally sucks. And I'm like really beating myself up. And I said like, everything you're saying is totally true. Like, I'm not going to deny all of that's true. And also, none of it's useful. And, like, let's play the other game. Like, what are all the best reasons? Like, what's so awesome about the fact that you're in a community with a guy who did 7 times the revenue that you did?
So true.
And he's like, it was crazy to see that it was possible. I'm like, yeah, that's true. What else? And he was like, I'm out. And I was like, what about like, you know, the best Olympians and runners in the world, like run with people that are faster than them, like so they can grow as fast? I'm like, do you think you would have even hit the numbers you did if you weren't alongside people like him? And he was like, no, I would never. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what about like, do you think like that guy is actually way better at magic than you are? And he's like, no, we're the same. He just had some opportunities. I'm like, isn't that crazy, you know, that you're as good as someone at that level? And we just like played that game for like 10 minutes and 15 minutes. And I was just like, look, I don't know which one of the two things are true. Like, I don't know if it's like a bummer that you'll never reach that. And if you do, he will have dwarfed you. Or if it's awesome that you get to be alongside someone who's like that in all the amazing ways it affects you. And I'm
Which
like,
one
only one of them
better?
is useful,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
only one of them is like a useful mindset. And like, it was the same thing about the business class. Like I did not want to fly here in economy. Like I did not want to do that. Like I just didn't. It was like so many hours and I did not want to do it. And also I did not want to spend $12,000 US on business class round trip. Like I did not want to do both of those. So I was like, well, I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place here, right? Like I don't have really a way out. So I tried to like justify either one and like either case. And like, I think sometimes like, you just trapped in circles, whatever. And I just went, okay, which one do I want? I was like, well, really, I'd like to fly business class. So I'm like, okay, let me give myself all the reasons why. Number one, in one trip, I'm going to hit the airline status that it took me all year last year to hit. Mm-hmm. Dope. That'll be awesome. Number two, if I fly here economy and I'm tired and I hate, like I flew to this side of the world to visit clients. If I spend time with clients and I'm tired, I won't be delivering my best. And because I won't be my best, they will be less excited. And if they're less excited, they may not stay with me. And I may fly across the world and basically convince them to no longer be clients. Because they may go, this guy's a loser. Like, this sucks, right? So, like, I need to, like, be there 100%. And then I start going, like, yeah, but for the same price of business class, I could stay here an extra week on either end at hotels, and I could catch up on the sleep that way. And then I was like, what am I worth for a couple of hours of work? Like, what am I worth to do work? Like, do I want to spend a day and a half sleeping in hotels trying to catch up on jet lag or whatever? Like, wouldn't I rather just like go right into getting work done? And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I was like, also, I'll make this fun project where on the flight, I'm going to try to make the amount of money. Like, I'm going to try to make $10,000 on the flight, which didn't end up happening because of immigration problems. But that's another story. But like, all I did there was just like justify all of the reasons why it's fine and all the reasons why it's good. And like, I think that's the same game you need to play with business, with plateaus, with mindsets, is just be like,
what story are you telling yourself?
What story? Like, it's amazing to be like, oh my God, I've been stuck at 10K months for like 6 months. That's brutal. And then you go, why is it awesome? Like, oh, you know what's so awesome about it? I've figured out how to make my life so calm around 10K months that I don't feel like I'm panicked and being chased, so much so that I can like not try, and that already happens. 6 years ago me, 3 years ago me, that would have been a mind-blowing
10K
thing.
a month was the goal.
Right.
And you got to remember that. It's like, you can be grateful for that and want more.
Yeah.
But if you're not grateful for that and want more, well, like, good luck getting it. Because it's like, if you can't be grateful for this, how can you handle more?
Yeah.
You know, like
you just, it's just about like taking the thing and going like, why is this awesome? So I'm like, okay, I've been stuck at like X amount of months. Like, how do I, like, what's so good about that? Oh, you know what's so good about that? I've been traveling the world, hanging out with clients, and still at this part where, you know, a year ago, this was the dream, and now I'm here and, like, I have this growth, but I'm like, wow, if only I work a little bit more, like, I will be able to hit, because this is chill, and I'm able to do this, like, in a way that is like not, like, cool. Stress.
In a year and a half, you've like normalized something so much.
So that's just the story that I'm telling now. Instead of me being like, again, one version of the story is, you lazy loser, why have you been stuck here? But it's like, that's oftentimes as a business owner, I say that all the time, right? I'm like, you idiot, like, why are you doing that? Then I have to go like, like, that story sucks. True or false, that story sucks. What's the better story? Better story, oh my gosh, I've been traveling the world, loving life, and also hitting these incredible benchmarks. Wow. If all I do is set aside some time, I know that I'll be able to hit the next one. Like, oh, what a great story. So I just think, like, whenever I catch myself, sort of that NLP thing, like, whenever I catch myself
saying something that doesn't serve you, just
true
reframe
or
it.
not, it doesn't matter which one's true.
But it's like, you just got to choose the story that serves you, like, and people will justify, like you just said, like, you justified, like, in your own way, like, why you should fly business class, and but people do that for other things that then don't serve them, like, you know, do I hire a coach or do I figure it out on my own? And they're like, I'll save money, I'm just, you know, all this stuff, and it's like, sure, does that serve you though?
Maybe not.
Like,
Who knows?
And it's like, it's interesting. People will convince themselves of anything, really. I find it so fascinating when people say, I just want to figure it out on my own. I just want to.
It's so funny.
I'm just like, oh my God, you have no idea.
So funny to be like, I want to, like, I would go to the gym, but let me lose weight first.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
And but like, they've just justified that.
But it's also a practice. Like, you know, it's funny in the last like couple days of us hanging, like, you told me so many stories with so many different coaches that you've worked with, whatever. And like, it's just a practice and a mindset that, like, early on, it's so fair. Early on, you're like, it's just me against the world. I'm figuring out if I hire help, I'm like disappointed. Like, it shows that I couldn't do it. Like, all of these weird beliefs that you have that, like, is super fair to feel that way, but you just need, it's almost like the joke we were saying the other night with Ethan of, like, everybody who's ever made a buttload of money is always like, money will not make you happy. But, like, let me figure it out for myself.
Like, let me still try and see if that's true.
Right. So it's like your friend who owns a huge business says to you, like, every billionaire ever, if you're like, hey, how'd you do it? They're always like, I surround myself with amazing people.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, it's not me, it's my incredible employees. And then someone's like starting their business and you're like, do you want to hire some help? And they're like, I can't, I have to do it myself. So it's like all these things, like, it's fair to feel that way. Like, you're wrong. But like, I empathize with people who feel those things because I'm like, I get it. Like, I was there. I was, that first coach that I told you that made us was $2,000, whatever. I think it was $3,000 for like 10 weeks.
And you made $2,000 before it even started.
I think I ended up failing. I made like $1,600 in the first week.
How cool though.
It was insane. And then in the time together, maybe I didn't hit my like goal of us working together, but then after I used all the skills and I like basically started launching like this career, which is crazy. And like, it took me so long to make that $3,000 decision. I mean, it was so hard to make that decision. And like, if now me could talk to then me, I'd be like, are you kidding? Like, are you joking, bro?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's fine. But I get it. Like,
You gotta build that identity.
That guy was like in the negative. That me was like fucked.
Going back to like, the conversation around hard though, like when you listen to like billionaires and all this sort of stuff, they'll say like, yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but notice they still choose it. It's like, it was really hard and I wouldn't have it any other way. So they actually just have a whole different mindset around hard. And I remember like towards the end of 2025, I had a lot of sales calls on, like the business just went like this, my calendar all of a sudden was full. And I was saying, this is hard, this is a lot. And then I realized, hold on a second. If I want to grow my business and I can't handle like a lot on my calendar, I've got another thing coming, because I listen to like podcast episodes of Stephen Bartlett and he's like every fucking 30 seconds is planned out for the whole day, like back to back. And I'm not saying I want that, but I'm just saying like,
but this is nothing.
Like, yeah, this is nothing. Yeah. Like, and I don't mean that to like dismiss my feelings or other people's feelings, but sometimes I think it's helpful to do that in a way of like, if you tell yourself this is hard and painful, it will be. And if you tell yourself like, if I can't handle this, I cannot handle more and I want more. So like buckle up. And then all of a sudden, yeah, it was a lot, but it was actually so much fun because I just told myself a different story of like, oh my God, poor me, who cares if I have 5 to 10 calls every day for the next 7 days and then I'm on a 2-week break for Christmas. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
And I just told myself a different story, had so much fun, made so much money, and it just like wasn't a problem. So like, yeah, like it was hard, but it also just like wasn't at the same time. Like, what a cool problem to have that I've got so many people wanting to work with me, booking calls with me.
I have one story and one mantra to share, and then I think we should wrap this thing.
Yeah.
Some other cool ones. So the story is, there's no way to say this, it doesn't sound toxic, but like when I'm in a relationship with someone and they have a full-time job, I'm like convincing them to quit their job. Like, I'm like, quit your job, right? Like, I'm just like I've done it multiple times now. But the like beautiful, I think, reason is like, I'm like dating a smart, attractive, intelligent woman who's at some 9-to-5 job where she's getting taken advantage of and working like a fucking dog and being paid like shit. And then I can see their skill set in a way that their job is disrespecting it and not paying them. And I'm like, girl, you're being paid like $3,000 a month. Like, you can make this just doing the same thing you're doing for them, but on your own, and have all your free time, like, so like that's the like positive, but it's a bit toxic. But anyways, I was with like my last ex, like I was basically like in the throes of she was between jobs when we started dating. I was in the throes of saying like, there's no greater wish I could have for a person that they could fill their life working on awesome shit. And like, if something is hard, like, awesome. That's awesome. And again, hard, but like, even if it's like time consuming or draining or whatever, like, awesome. Like, the best I've ever felt ever in my life is when I accomplished something that was harder or more demanding or whatever on me. So it's like so fun, right? Like, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I have 20 sales calls in the calendar the next 3 days. Like, how am I going to do it? And then I'm like, you know how great you're going to feel at the end? Like, so great. Like, that's so, like, imagine being like, you're at the gym, you're like lifting weight, you're like, oh, so hard. You're like, that's the point. That's the point.
If it's not hard, it's not going to do anything.
That's the point, right? So it's like so good. And I'll share one mindset thing, and then I think we'll wrap this and we'll shoot another thing. When I was, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago or something, all the like guys on my mom's side of my family, plus like the husbands or whatever, they go on like a hockey trip. Like, they drive up north, like a cabin in the woods, and they go and they do like a hockey weekend. So this was like the first year I was invited up. It's all these like old geezers, and they're like, okay, let's invite the like 20-year-olds or whatever. So like, I like go, I'm like 19, right? All these like uncles like drinking or whatever. So I'm like drinking, we're like playing poker, like all the like bro-y things, whatever. And I'm also a child, so not really, but I'm like eating gummy bears, like whatever, right? I'm just enjoying myself. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like my stomach hurts, whatever, too many gummy bears. A little more, and they're like, oh, man, it really hurts, trying to like push it down, whatever. Then it like really hurt. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. It was snowing like crazy out. And I had to wake up my dad. And I was like, we have to go to the hospital. Mind you, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like hour and a half drive to a hospital. We get in the car. We're driving. The snow is coming down. The snow is so bad. He has to drive in the middle of both roads, like the lanes. Because just like it's too piled up on the sides or whatever. We're just barreling down the road going like 130. And what I didn't know is my appendix was bursting. And it was
I can't deal with this conversation.
so painful. So painful. Get to the doctor. Doctor starts asking me, like the nurse starts asking me stupid questions, like whatever. And I was just like, girl, just like get me in. Like enough. Don't ask me my height. Like let's just go, you know? And there was one quote that I like gave to myself in that really difficult moment that got me through it, that I use often all the time. And well, the quote was, this is so painful. It was so painful. If this is the worst pain I ever feel in my life, I will be okay. This is brutal. But if it actually doesn't get worse than this, I actually can handle it.
Because you're surviving that in that
right,
moment.
I'm currently handling it. Yeah. So I will be able to handle it. It sucks, but like I'm currently proving that I can currently handle it. It's horrible, it's awful. I don't know about anything worse, but I can actually handle this if this is as bad as it gets. And I'm sure if something was worse, I would say that about that too. But like, I often use that for myself when I'm in a moment that feels really hard or difficult or painful. I'm like, if this is as hard as it is, I can actually handle it. Because I'm handling it right now. It is hard. It's a lot. It's taking a lot out of me. Like I do like a lot of shows in December, like corporate holiday party shows. And like I'll have like 4 days of 3 or 4 back-to-back shows, like voice shot. I get home at 1 a.m., sleep for like 5 hours. I gotta like wake up and go and do more corporate shows, and it's just like mayhem. And I'm like, if this, and I know it's literally the hardest part of my year. And then when Christmas it ends and it goes back to like normal. I'm like, if this is the hardest thing, I can handle it. It sucks, but I'm like, 3 more days of this, whatever, like I can handle it. So
I did the same thing.
I often use that, like, if this is as hard as it can be, I can handle it. That's my little mantra.
I love that.
Cool?
Awesome.
Cheers to mindset.
Yes. So yeah, mindset in a nutshell has played a really big role for both of us that allowed us to double, significantly increase our revenue. So I hope that helped anyone that needed a bit of a reframe or a different perspective on investing in yourself, investing in your business, making decisions, moving through things, reframing things, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, cool.
Anyways.
Thanks for hanging, and we'll make more cool stuff. This was awesome. Cheers.
Sick.